Hey everyone, how you going? I just wanted to make a little video about this issue. I have actually put it on uh, like an image format in the past and posted it up on Twitter and whatnot. But excuse my voice, I'm a bit hoarse. I might have the virus. Who knows? Um, but I've got this theory, and I just wanted to share it with you. And sometimes it's better just to put things in the video. It's easy for people to hear and look at and find rather than a post that just gets lost in the past. So I've also noticed this is the John Hopkins site, which is supposed to be the official place for stats, which considering event 201, I guess it would be. Um, Interesting, I haven't logged on for about a week or so. I haven't been interested. And I noticed that they've changed it over here now. It's total tested. That was always the same. Total confirmed cases. Pardon me. Total deaths was the same, but this was green and it was total recovered. It wasn't total tested. I think the recovered number is a very telling number that you need to know. I don't know where else it might be. I don't know if you can find it. They've just removed it anyway and put tested in there. I think that's a bit sneaky, to be honest, because testing, as we know, is a little bit iffy anyway, and it really doesn't tell you as much as the amount of people that are supposed to be recovered. Maybe it's because they want people to think that you can't get recovered. Anyway, all that aside, I just noticed a while back, so we go to America, right? Because of this, and I'm just going to say the words, I'm not going to blank them out, I'm not going to try and code it so that the video is not taken down. If it's taken down, I'll just put it up somewhere else that I can leave it up. I'm not really fussed, I'm not into censorship. So the issue of 5G and Corona, I'll just call it Corona, anyway, is something that people really need to take into account because it's a new technology, 5G. It hasn't been tested. It goes against the Nuremberg Code where they're experimenting on humans without their knowledge or express consent. An official of Vodafone in Milan, I've got a video of it I've posted a couple of times. She actually admits that it's an open air lab in the city. You know, it's an open air lab laboratory, and you know this is against all the ethics that you're not supposed to put untested stuff out there and experiment on humans without them knowing and accepting that that's what's happening. And people don't expect that. They don't understand that. They think it's just it's all tested and it's all hunky-dory. So I'm doing this not to promote any sort of fear or any sort of strange nothing. I've got no other reason for doing this other than there is so much evidence that 5G is actually harmful to life, and electromagnetic energy and frequencies and radiation is bad for health, is bad for life. We've got videos of birds falling out of the sky. We've got videos of fish flopping out of the water. It's quite scary, and it's all coinciding at the same timeline of them turning on 5G and actually like making it go live after all these years of sort of like working up to it. There's also this theory that it's said by scientists that every time the Earth goes through a major electrification process with a new technology, there's a pandemic of flu or flu-like symptoms. And some people are saying that it's actually not contagious. It's the cells are poisoned and that these things called exosomes are coming out of the cell and like removing damaged DNA and stuff and pooping it all out to be excreted, and that's what the actual virus is, that people think is a virus. That's what, at least in some cases. There may be other kinds of viruses that are sort of contagious, but they're sort of hypothesizing that the coronavirus isn't actually, or that whatever's going on at the moment that's being called a coronavirus isn't actually a contagious virus. It's that the cells are just sticking this stuff out, and it looks exactly like an exosome, and that's what it is. And they're supposing that it's because the electrification of the Earth from 5G is starting to happen. They go back to, I think it was 1917, 1918, to the Spanish flu. That was when radio was first turned on around the globe. Then I don't know the years. I'd have to. Someone else can look that up. But then there was radar in, I don't know when that was. That caused another pandemic. Then there was another flu when satellites came along. It correlates with the time that they launched this new technology, and it was new frequencies each time that the human body is just not used to, and so it sort of got, in a way, poisoned by this radiation, and it was just totally foreign and alien to the human state, and so people got sick, and that's easy to understand. And then that they're saying that this is happening again with 5G. Whether or not that's happening, and it does make sense to me, but whether or not that's happening isn't the reason so much that I want to focus on this now, or bring attention to this. The reason I want to bring attention to it is that in a world where there's a new technology being rolled out, it's beholden on all of us to monitor it and see if there's any problems. And if there's problems, we alert someone. It's like, otherwise it's the cigarette and cancer thing. It goes on for years and everyone's dying of cancer. And the companies that make the cigarettes are saying, no, it's not us. It's quite safe. And it takes all these court cases and millions of people dead, or billions maybe, before they actually admit, yes, cigarettes do cause cancer, and, we need to make everyone aware. So 5G is in a similar situation. It's being sort of rolled out at the moment, and we need to be looking at it as a possible contributor to what we're seeing at the moment in terms of corona. And it's not wacky, it's not woo-woo, it's not conspiracy. Personally, I've come to this conclusion, or maybe not conclusion because you don't know yet, but this belief that what's happening is that the powers that be know full well that 5G is going to cause this phenomenon where everyone gets sick and many millions of people die, but because they're so tied to the idea of the AI and artificial intelligence and the smart cars, the smart cities, they see it as an imperative to push forward technology in this way. Otherwise, we'll stand still. And they just think I think it's just a price they're willing to pay. It's just a sacrifice that's going to happen with progress, as has happened before. I think that's what's happening, and I think they know. That's why they're trying to shut people up and censor everyone that mentions or brings up the two together, because while they know it's true, it's possible that they know it's true, but while they know that, they also know that the alternative is if people find out it's true and then say, no, we can't have it, the whole world will go, no, we don't want it, and then they will not have any progress. And they think of it in terms of money, as they always do, like economy, developing industries and new ways of doing things. And they just look at it as the future happening, right? So they just think, well, yeah, we know that it's going to kill a lot of people, but we don't care, basically. So that's not my business. My business is to observe and to sort of like give feedback on what I'm seeing. That's what all of us as humans are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be contributing to life. So look, I'll just stop waffling and just say what I've been noticing. You might even see it on this map already, right? You see all the dots, right? These are all where like if you zoom right in and you've got the dots and you click on each dot, it's a death, right? Or a case. So the big ones, 14,000. Right, you've all seen this map. So Washington, 2000. All right, so each dot is a case, and there may or may not be people that have died. Right? Okay, but when you like, if you go right in like this, the dots are very small, and it's like, oh well, I think they designed it this way on purpose, because I think they know what I'm about to say is true. If you come back, the dots stay the same size. So if you scroll just a certain amount of the way back, too much, you can still see what I'm I think you can see what I'm going to try and say. They're very, very even. The dots, this is the best resolution for this map. I don't know if I can go, oh no, I don't want that. I want you to just not look at anything except the space between the dots and the patterns of the dots. The first time I noticed it was in above Michigan, right? And if I go in too far, you're not going to see the dots, so I've got to stay out this far. So I put it on full screen. If you look at these lines, look at the lines, line, 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 line. But not only are they even horizontally, they're even vertically. Look, junk, 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 junk. Same everywhere. It's like lines. Now I'm wondering if these illnesses, because we know that people will not live next to cell phone towers, we know that high voltage power lines cause disease when they live underneath those, and the houses underneath those great big huge pylons, you know, with the big huge electricity cables over, those houses are worth nothing compared to other houses because of the danger of cancer and all those problems. So we do know that living in proximity to something that emits radiation is going to cause a health issue. So that's not really up for debate. That's sort of like, we all know that. Why there's this cognitive dissonance about 5G, I've got no idea. Oh, it can't be that. You know, it's not, it's just faster internet. I just want to look at, for the purposes of this, just look at the lines everywhere, right? They're in lines. And I'm just wondering, pardon me, I've got a bit of peanut stuck in my tooth. Hang on. There we go. Excuse me. Look at the lines. Now, I can't believe they're that sloppy because it's a big country. America is a huge country. I can't believe it's that sloppy that when you click on this and it says Franklin, Butler, Bremer, when you click on each one, it's an actual location, right? So I can't believe they're that sloppy that they've just plonked them down. Not when you look at it this way, and they're all sort of different, like, say in New York's probably a good example. Look, they're all different distances away from each other, and they're all congregated closer to the bigger areas. So I can't believe that these that look so. Look at here. Look how even they are. Look at this line along here, along here, along here. I can't believe they just put them down anywhere to represent something else. Well, this place is right on a river, Black Hawk, Iowa. I don't know where that is. I mean, I'm not very familiar with America as a place, but geographically. But I first noticed it in Michigan. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I mean, would think I'd like someone that knows what to do and how to find out if there's a 5G. Look at this along the river here. If there's a 5G map of where all these base stations might be, and do they correlate to these dots? Because look at these lines, it's like little squares. Look how even they are. Now, if you can imagine, they're putting, because we all know 5G has to be close to each other in order to transmit and receive. It's got a limited distance it can go. This makes sense that they would put it at very, very even intervals away from each other to make the signal relay from one area to the other. See, and in lines like this, and then it's a grid, like a 5G grid. So I would like someone, if they could, don't have to get back to me, but just for your own experimentation. I noticed this weeks ago when the map was a lot quieter than this, and I came back today and I honestly didn't know if it was going to look the same. It looks exactly the same, it's just more of it, you know. When you come over this area, it gets a little bit more. Yeah, you have to go this far out so that you can't. Otherwise, the dots are too small to really see the patterns. So it's just on one particular resolution. And you can see there's a line here. There's lines, lines, lines. It's not so much over here. on the west side. But look at this one here in the middle. Look, great big line goes up, great big line goes up, and then these ones too here. See, there's these 8 ones here. If you look at it, it's so even, and I can't believe that people don't live in between these spots. I mean, that's a huge amount of space, right, in Texas. So why are they all spaced so evenly? You'd think they'd be like so much more organic looking than this sort of like grid pattern where they're all sort of like, can you see what I mean? If you just look at 4 spots and don't look at anything else, every time you look at 4 little dots, they form a perfect square. Look, square, square, square. And so that's horizontal and vertical are all aligned everywhere, everywhere. So I'm assuming, especially like I said, over the top of Michigan. Look here. Look at that. That's where I first noticed it, because they're a little bit closer together there than they are everywhere else, and that's why on this resolution I go, oh wow, look at that. See, square, square. Oh, it is okay, sort of on this res. It's much easier to see like that. These line. So I would like to see also, because the map this way, I would imagine there's more 5G in New York than anywhere. That's probably where they put it up first, because New York has to be the best at everything. Chicago, Detroit, the other places probably early adopters, Seattle and San Francisco, but in the middle, has Oregon got like very, very limited 5G? Has Nevada, obviously in the desert you wouldn't have much there, would you? 5G, you just have normal satellites. Montana, nothing up here at all. In Calgary and Regina, so and Winnipeg, like nothing. So they don't have 5G because, like, I don't know. It's like, it's just, yeah, look at the grid. Look at the grid. All right, so I'm a bit tired, and I'm usually not long for bed when I decide to make a video, so that's why I'm usually rabbiting on. I'm a bit tired. Just wanted to throw that out there. If someone wants to sort of work out where the 5G has been rolled out in the States already, and does it in any way, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but does it in any way overlay these dots on the John Hopkins map? So the address is HTTP coronavirus yeah, whatever. Oops. And does the hang on a sec. Does the look at that, those grids, look at that. I'm just blown away how even it is. Like, look up here around Iowa. Look here. Square, square, square. There's a square and a square, and in between the squares it's the same. It's so even, it's not fucking funny. And I can't believe, basically the premise of this is I can't believe that when they made this map, because it's like clickable, interactive map showing something so important as a death stat by location, that they would just plonk them down in a grid like this, unless that's exactly where they are in that location and they did it by GPS. And so I think it sort of could be giving the game away, to be honest, of what's going on. So if someone wants to overlay the 5G rollout maps, if they can work that out, with this John Hopkins map and see if it actually, if there's any match, I think that would be good evidence to point towards the fact that there is a link between the two. Okay. Thanks for your time, and I'll talk to you later. See you later.